If you're struggling against Eris and failing to reach Olympus, I have good news. All you'll have to do is tactically drop your cast and then run around like a headless chicken, taking basically no damage in the process unless you mess up. So yeah, it's not like you just one-shot the fight, you do still have to do mechanics, but you negate all of her projectiles while you're sprinting, which is a massive, massive advantage, especially if you have any passive damage. That said, Hades 2 is still in early access, there's a chance this gets nerfed, so get subscribed, leave a like while you're down there, and I'll update you in future videos as patch notes come out and changes are made. So what is this magical strategy? It's a combination of a cast boon and a sprint boon. First up, you need a passive damage boon. This can be either Hestia's cast, Zeus's cast, and you'll use Omega, Apollo's cast, and you'll use Omega, although Apollo's is probably the worst of the options here, or Demeter's cast. Or alternatively, you can use an attack or special boon from Hephaestus. Either of these give you a flat damage proc in the form of Blast. And your goal here is going to be to drop something on Eris, let it passively damage her, while you run around sprinting. The easiest to do is definitely going to be Hestia's because you'll need her for this combo anyway. So, since you only get 2 keepsake options, take Hestia's keepsake into the first zone to guarantee your likelihood of obtaining this boon. What you need is Soot Sprint. Your sprint destroys most ranged shots near you and inflicts Scorch on foes that fire. It does not matter what rank it is, it does not matter what level it is. All that does is increase the Scorch damage, which is pretty negligible regardless. A level 1 common is completely fine when it comes to Soot Sprint, but most of Eris' skills are considered projectiles. The only things you will not be able to destroy by sprinting are the lobbed grenades from the adamant rail. The strategy here is simple. Drop your cast, then run around while sprinting. To sprint, you need to hold your dash button. And when you're doing this, be very, very careful that Melanoe has actually been sprinting. It's super easy to just dash and be running, because for some reason holding down the button is a little bit fiddly. And if that's the case, you're going to take a massive amount of damage, you're going to eat all of her projectiles, and probably lose a Death's Defiance. That's about my only complaint about doing a strategy like this or fighting the boss in general. While you can completely negate and trivialize her projectiles, it's very, very easy to end up dead to a small mistake because you thought you were sprinting and you weren't. Personally, I recommend getting some sprint speed just to make the whole thing feel better, but after the recent patch, honestly, maintaining sprint isn't that bad. Just remember, when she uses any of her AoE lob-type grenades, you will need to avoid those manually. Just move out of the big circles. I tested it, and yes, they do still hurt. But you don't have to worry about things like her shotgun unless you come to a standstill. If you come to a standstill, then you are fully vulnerable to the barrage of projectiles that she will unleash from the Rail of Adamant. So always be moving, run in and quickly drop your cast before getting out to safety, or charge up an Omega cast and drop that on her. Keep doing that throughout the phases and you'll win in no time. And so here's just a quick example of me putting all that into practice.
Thought that was you. So, ready to get shot all the way back to hell, Trouble?
So that's an example of how you can defeat Eris using this strategy. You'll notice that I mostly just ran in to damage her when either A, my Hestia special was up so I could trigger the blast, or B, when I needed to drop a new cast on her. I was using Aspect of Charon so that my cast lasted longer, which has its upsides and downsides. The upside is when she holds still, you can leave it down for longer, and the downside is when she moves away, you do lose a little bit of damage uptime. So that's largely just personal preference. In addition to all this, I had an Apollo boon causing my cast to grow in size, which again, not necessary at all, but is nice quality of life. And so while this wasn't my fastest Eris kill, it was certainly quite safe. I took very little damage here. Most of it was just when I messed up. I thought I was sprinting, but I wasn't actually sprinting, or I stood in a little bit of a fire which surrounds the room, since most of her attacks do AoE. Now, if you want to know more, I'm going to have a full Aspect of Charon cast-based build showcase up very soon. Aside of that, I have a couple more for things like Aspect of Pan and Aspect of Momus on the Sister Blades and Discura respectively. Links to all of those will be up in the card and down below. So let me know if you also struggled with Eris or if you found it super easy and breezy. And if you found Eris easy, what bosses did you struggle with either in Hades 1 or Hades 2? Now before I go, a special thanks to my patrons and channel members for the continued support. For as low as $1 a month, you can help make videos just like this one possible. Link to support is down below. And of course, before I go, a big thanks to everyone who watched to the end. I'm glad you enjoyed the video, good luck against Eris with the strategy, and I'll see you in the next one.